man. So I cheered when she did that whole thing. You know, like, who are the happy couples in here? My wife didn't. What the fuck? Damn it, man. All right. So I am Billy Bikerson, a.k.a. Bikerson the Beer Man. I got that name in part because I am a biker, okay? And, you know, I was kind of born into it, okay? Some of my earliest memories of my childhood are my uncle and his friends coming up our long, winding, rural country driveway on their black and chrome fucking shovel heads, right? You know, just rumbling, sounding like a freight train coming down. And they come in the house, you know, they had the Jesus hair and their ZZ Top beards or tattoos. Do we have any bikers here tonight? Because they told me this was a biker bar. All right. You know, they come in there, they're smelling like beer and cigarettes. You know, they'd be laughing and talking about the accident they almost got into on the way here. The cops they ran from last night, you know, it was like so reckless and trashy, irresponsible, immature. And I'm like, yep. I want to be that when I grow up, you know, so here I am. And, you know, I couldn't help it. So I had my first motorcycle when I was 8, got in my first major motorcycle accident when I was 8 1/4. And, you know, got my first set of matching titanium pins in my leg when I was 14. It's really cool. You know, okay, there's been a few more accidents since then. The funny thing is I only get in accidents when I'm fucking sober. Never when I'm drunk. I don't know why it works that way. But anyway, so I went on, and I didn't finally get my first Harley Davidson until I was well into my adulthood. All right? I'm going to try to be more entertaining than Tyson tonight, by the way. I've already moved more than he did. Just saying. So I finally got my first Harley Davidson. That was like a pivotal moment in my life because everybody, when I grew up, everybody talked about the motorcycle clubs, and I was like, yeah, I want to get into I want to get into this motorcycle club business, right? They were like the folk heroes of the trailer park that I lived in, you know, and so everybody was all like, oh man, you know, I went to this rally and I got to hang out with this club. I went to that rally, I got to ride with this club. It was cool, you know, and so I was like, okay, motorcycle club bound. Now here's a problem. When I got my first Harley, I was living in Skokie. Now, I don't know how much you guys know about Skokie. It's not exactly a biker town, okay? I'm just saying. But I did manage to find a local motorcycle club right there in Skokie, believe it or not, a little known club you probably haven't heard of called the Hell's Bagels, okay? They had a clubhouse right next to Einstein's, you know, and it was, you know, Jewish fashion. It was a really nice clubhouse. It's not your typical motorcycle clubhouse. There was no bar, but they had a really cool deli counter. And, you know, once a year, they would have this big party that lasted for 8 days and 8 nights. I don't know what that was. They would bring in like 50 kegs of lentil soup. You know, as much fun as I had hanging around with those guys, I did come to the realization that I was never going to be accepted as one of them, right? Because I'm not Jewish. And then, as soon as I found out what they did to uncircumcised prospects, I'm like, oh, hell no, Hell's Bagels. No, we're not going there. So, I had to depart ways. Yeah, and I started hanging around this other club. Probably never heard of them either. They're called the In-Laws, okay? And all they ever did was drink and argue with each other and tell me I wasn't good enough to marry their sister. So, yeah, it's a whole biker trash thing. So I was like, okay, fine. You know, so I moved on. I eventually found my way through the motorcycle club world. Did 16 years in the club scene. Achieved my dream, nightmare of being an outlaw biker. I only got visited twice by the DEA, so I did pretty good. Went on. But that's the first half of my stage name, Bikerson the Beer Man. It's the second half of my stage name that tends to get me in trouble. And that's the beer man part. Because, all right, we're in a bar, so you know what? I love my beer, okay? I like craft beer, I like regular beer. I make my own beer at times, okay? But my drinking, yeah. You know, it gets me in trouble from time to time. And I've really tried to combat it. I actually tried to quit. I even did the whole AA thing, you know? The problem I had with AA, as a professional alcoholic, I was kind of bored with the regular alcoholics. They didn't intrigue me. So we're sitting around, we're having this AA meeting, right? And we got the moderator up there. He's like, okay, listen, today we're going to focus on talking about what the worst thing about getting blackout drunk is and how negative alcohol has impacted our life, okay? And he's going around the room and you're hearing like the typical stuff. Oh man, I lost the love of my life because of my alcohol. I lost the best job I ever had. And then the moderator calls on me, Billy, would you like to share the worst thing about getting blackout drunk? I'm like, yeah. The worst thing about getting blackout drunk is when you wake up to an awesome blowjob right before you realize you're in jail. Yeah. And I'm like, no. Scratch that. The worst thing about getting blackout drunk is that moment you sober up just enough to realize you're fucking your cousin. Oh, I always get that reaction. Not a thing here? I hear it's a thing in Will County. I don't know. Maybe you guys I don't know. Oddly enough, ever since I started telling that joke, my cousins won't drink with me for some reason. I don't know. I guess I'm not worthy. My mother was so upset the first time I told that joke because I'm from Kentucky and I went to this whole spiel about people from Kentucky and she let me know, quit dragging Kentucky into this shit. Yeah, so anyway, I got kicked out of AA for some reason. And I was fine with that because I joined AAA instead. And now when I get a DUI, my car gets towed for free, which frees up some more beer money. So screw AA, I think I can handle my own addictions, right? You know, I'm doing pretty good. So anyway, I really wish alcohol was like the only addiction I have. It's not. I got a few. It's like a comedian thing, like we're all fucked up. But I had a proud moment this week, and I want to share that with you, okay? I had a proud moment this week because what happened was somebody came to my house, okay? Somebody that knew, somebody I used to do business with. They came to my house, actually walked up to my front door, and they were trying to sell me some of that shit that I chose to walk away from, okay? So I hope you can appreciate the gravity of the situation. I was tempted, but I stood strong.
Go ahead.
I walked out onto my porch. I looked them straight in the eye, and I said, get the fuck off of my property. Don't ever fucking come back. And I said it with such ferocity, and I was so fierce. I actually watched them run back to their car, and I was so proud. My wife flipped her shit. She came running over. She said, have you lost your fucking mind? And I said, hey, I don't need that shit anymore, and neither do you. And she said, I agree. But I think a simple no thank you, we're not buying Girl Scout cookies this year, would have sufficed. Whatever. Go ahead. Side with the cookie cartel. Yeah. You know. One of the things I've come to realize in life is that, you know, addictions are a part of life. Everybody's got addictions. There's a different addictive behaviors. It's not all about alcohol and drugs and everything. I'm here tonight because of one of my addictions, which happens to be like sex and porn. And so I was like on one of those live chat websites, you know, where like chicks will rate your cock. So I took 2 blue pills, right? 2 blue chews. That's for you, Andy. I took 2 of the blue chews. I made that thing as big and as hard as I could possibly make it. And I turned the camera on. And I'm like, rate it, baby, what do you think? The bitch laughed. And she said, you should be a comedian. So here I am, trying to get some laughs with my clothes on. Thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. We'll see you at the next one.